what good has Christianity done in the world?
Historian Paul Meyer said, "No other religion, philosophy, teaching, nation or movement has changed the world for the better like Christianity. Clearly," he said, "it has had its shortcomings, but they are heavily outweighed by its benefits to all mankind." So, what are those benefits? When Christ came to earth, society was divided and male-dominated. Women were men's property with few rights. 1 out of 4 people were slaves. Killing children was legal and even celebrated. Paedophilia was unashamedly practiced. The poor, hungry, sick and dying were often mistreated. Compassion was not common. In contrast, Jesus preached and practiced that all people were equal, regardless of sex, race, health, age or status. His message was to love and honour even those considered insignificant, like these women and children, various despised races, the slaves and the sick. The unparalleled teachings of Jesus went on to inspire his followers to pursue justice for all. Early Christians helped to elevate the status of these various despised people groups. They encouraged men to faithfully love and honour one wife. They protected and supported widows. They bought slaves in the marketplace simply to set them free. Outraged by the molestation and killing of children, they banned their followers from these practices and began to stand within society for social change. Over the centuries that followed, Christians were pivotal in seeing many things change around the globe, including the practice of burning widows in Asia, which was made illegal, and seeing child sacrifices abolished in many countries, and implementing child labour laws so children weren't forced to work in atrocious conditions, and in seeing the international slave trade abolished, freeing thousands of slaves. For example, there was no minimum age of consent for sex until William Booth of the Salvation Army campaigned for it in England to stop what we would all consider today to be the widespread abuse of children. And then, after protecting life, they worked to improve it, working with the poor, mistreated and sick. The establishment of the first hospitals and orphanages was largely due to Christian efforts, and on all continents of the world. The first attempt at education for all, including both male and female children, wealthy and poor, was by Christians, and schools around the globe were established, yet again by missionaries who were working to improve the conditions and opportunities of the local people. At a tertiary level, many respected universities globally began as Christian institutions, like Harvard and Yale. All this isn't to mention a wide range of other areas in which the followers of Jesus have significantly impacted the world we live in. For example, large numbers of modern science's founders were Christian, including Kepler, Pascal, Louis Pasteur, Isaac Newton and Ernest Rutherford. In the arts, we see enormous influence from the Christian faith. Christian writers such as C.S. Lewis, Tolkien, Shakespeare and Dickens have all impacted the world. Renowned musicians of centuries gone pioneered in the area of music in ways that it's difficult for us to even understand today, including Bach, Handel and Vivaldi. They were all Christians who worked to honour God. Bach even used to sign all of his works with the word Soli Deo Gloria, meaning solely to the glory of God. And in the area of art, there have been phenomenal architectural buildings, paintings and sculptures created by people acknowledging God as their inspiration. The concept of grace is without parallel. Michelangelo, widely considered the greatest artistic genius that ever lived, believed his art was divinely inspired by God and reflected God's glory. To close with a quote from broadcaster James Kennedy, he wrote, "All the armies that ever marched, all the navies that ever sailed, all the parliaments that ever sat, and all the kings that ever reigned, put together, have not affected the life of man on this earth as much as that one solitary life." So has Christianity brought good to this world? More so than we can comprehend, because even the freedom of speech with which we discuss this was afforded us by the Christian faith.